See, now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I have wounded and I heal, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, as I live forever, if I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine adversaries and will recompense them that hate me.
Hallelujah. Modi manaknula she'ata Eloheinu Elohe Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak Ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed. Dikra et akol kwani Shabbat Moreh Tavel ben Lewi ben Yisrael. Baruch Yahuwah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahuwah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra El HaTorah. Hallelujah.
Ashkir, Isa, Nidam, Wekardi, Tokal, Basar, Nidam, Halal, Weshif, Yah, Meroch, Harot, Oyev, Harminu, Goyim, Amo, Ki, Dam, Avadal, Yikwom, Lenaquam, Yashib, Lesaral, Lekiper, Ad, Mato, Amo, Wayavo, Moshe, Wadabar, Et, Hal, Divrei, Hashira, Hazot, Be'az, Ne, Ha'am, Hu, Wehoshea, Din, Nun.
Amen.
I will make thine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh with the blood of the slain and the captives from the long-haired heads of the enemy. Sing aloud, O ye nations, for his people. Slika. Sing aloud, O ye nations of his people, for he doth avenge the blood of his servants, and doth revenge, and thus render vengeance to his adversary, and doth make expiation for the land of his people. And Moses came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun.
Hallelujah. Modi manaknula she'ata Eloheinu Elohe Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak Ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed. Likra et Bukura Shira bat Akayu ben Yisrael. Baruch Yahuwah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahuwah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Wakal, Moshe, Ledaber, Et, Kal, Had, Varim, Ha'ele, El, Kal, Yisrael.
That's right.
Wayomer, Alehem, Simu, Levav, Hem, Lekal, Hadvarim, Asher, Anoki, Me'ib, Bakem, Hayom, Asher, Tezavum, Et, Benekem, Lishmor, Va'asot, Et, Kal, Divrei, HaTorah, Hazot, Ki, Lo, Davar, Rek, Hu, Mikem, He who Kayekem
That's right.
Ubadavar Haze Ta'ariku Yamin al Ha'adama Asher Atem Ovrim et Hayardain Shama Lerishta.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And Sidrah. And when Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel, he said unto them, set your heart unto all the words wherewith I testify against you this day, that ye may charge your children therewith to observe to do all the words of this law.
That's right.
For it is no vain thing for you, because it is your life.
That's right.
And through this thing ye shall prolong your days upon the land whither ye go over the Jordan to possess.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Modim anachnu lak, she'atahu Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed.
Likra et Maftir al Shabbat Haazinu, Geveret Shoshana Eshet Kohen Zadok ben Yisrael.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
YWA Yehovah El Moshe, Be'etzim Hayom Hazeh Lemor, Ale El Har Habarim Hazeh Har Nebo, Asher Be'eretz Moab, Asher Al Panei Jericho, or El Eretz Canaan, Asher Ani Noten Libnei Yisrael, Akusa. Umut Behar Asher Ata Ole Shama Ve'ha'esed El Ve'ha'ased El Ameka Ka Asher Mit Aharon Akika Behor Hahar Ve'yasef El Amal Al Asher Ma'altem bi betok b'nei Yisrael b'nei Meribat Kodesh Mibar Zin Al Asher Lo Kedashtem Oti betok b'nei Yisrael Ki meneged Tir et Haaretz Ve'shama Lo Tavo El Haaretz Asher Ani Noten Israel.
Hallelujah.
And Jehovah spoke unto Moses that selfsame day, saying, get thee up into the mountain of Abarim, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people as Aharon thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people, because ye trespass against me in the midst of the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. For thou shalt see the land afar off, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Modim anachnu lak, she'atahu Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov le'olam va'ed.
Shabbat shalom, Lak.
Brothers will be seated. So that y'all for our lives this day. To bring us all here safely and keeping us even through this holy season thus far. And it's a pretty long portion to read. I want to just kind of try to put it all together for the Yeladim. So I want them to pay particular attention. We're going to be talking and hopefully learning some things about not only David, but yourselves, each and every one of us. Okay? That's there. Can we just read the first verse? I'm sorry. I don't know where it is. 2 Samuel, 22nd chapter, starting at the first verse. So, before you even begin, we're getting there. Of course, this portion is in comparison to, or correlates to the hop or the Sidrah, is that we're going to hear a song on both of these portions. In the Sidrah, Moshe is going to sing a song. So, to the Yeladim, what happens in a song? What's a song, basically? What do you think of when you think of a song? Lyrics. What are lyrics? Words. And what does the song do? It expresses feelings. It could actually tell a story. That's what they're doing. They're telling a story. You put it to music, and you can put it to instruments, use instruments, but you're telling a story. It's history, and you're telling a story. So the song that Moses is going to sing to the children of Israel, he's going to tell a story, but the story doesn't sound all that great when he sings his song. But David has a great song to sing. He has a great story to tell. And that's my message to you today. You want to have a great story to tell. Everybody has a story to tell. So go ahead, if we could just read the first verse. We don't have too many children on this side, so.
And David spoke unto Yahweh the words of this song in the day that Yahweh delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Saul.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. We're going to talk a little bit about David. So this is what I want to know first. So it says here, for those who can't see it, David the boy.
Yeah.
What do you know about David the boy? What can you tell me? Okay. He was a shepherd. What's a shepherd? What is it? Okay, so he took care of animals. What are some things you need to do to take care of an animal? Because what do? They can run off. So what do you have to do? You have to protect them. You have to be a protector. You have to protect them. What else? Lead them. You have to lead them. You have to be responsible. You have to be attentive. You have to have these things going for you. Right? So David as a boy. Does anyone know what age David was when Yah sent Samuel to his father's house and said, there's somebody in that house, out of all of those boys in that house, there's one in there that I want you to know. I like him. Anybody know how old he was when that happened? When he ended up actually even doing what later? What did he do? What was one of the greatest things that he did? That he did while he was young. Do you know? He did become king, but before he even became king, he slew Goliath. He slew Goliath. So what does it take to do something like that? Courage. Yeah, straight courage. You have to be very courageous. So he had to have courage. He had to have all of these things that Yah would say, I like that boy. A boy. He was a boy. He wasn't a man yet. He was a boy. Do you think he crawled? Do you think he ever crawled? When he was born, did he get up and just start walking around? Do you think he walked? You think he crawled? You think he spit up on his meat?
Yeah, had to change his diaper.
He had to get his diaper changed?
That's right.
Everything that a boy is. But at some point, as you grow up,
Make it clear.
Yah is looking at you even as a boy or a girl. He's looking at you, and he's looking for great qualities in you that you would be responsible. Oh, if you could be a leader, oh, this child acts like a leader. I could make him my king. I could make him the chief man. I can make him, he has these great qualities. He really pays attention very well. He's very attentive. He understands people. He knows when he hurts somebody's feelings that he needs to apologize. Or I won't say that again. I'm not going to do that type of thing again because I saw that it hurt someone's feelings. These are the qualities that David had, that Yah saw in him as a boy. A boy. And Yah said, I choose this boy. And not a man. He chose a boy to be great. And this is David's story about how Yah was with him. And he's told many stories because in the form of a song, because we know that he wrote many what? He wrote a lot of songs, which are songs, right? And he tells his story in all of his songs and all of his psalms that he wrote. And this is just one of the stories he wrote. Does anyone know? I know some people should know what psalm this also is, this story that he tells, and this song that he sings here is also in the book of Psalms. It's one of the psalms. What psalm is it?
18.
It's in Psalm 18. It's also Psalm number 18. Almost the exact same words. David sings this song and wrote this song and put it in his collection of songs or psalms. Okay, so we're going to start hearing David's story. So you know about him as a boy. What happened? Then he becomes what? After you're a boy, what do? You grow and you become what? See, a young man. Then you could become a young man. So what was David as a young man? How was he? He was a warrior. Still courageous. Carrying on the same great qualities that he had here. He was very responsible. He was what? Artistic, because he was writing all of these songs. Playing the harp. Very talented. Very talented. Yah loved all of this about him. This is all of the stuff that Yah loved in this boy. And as he grew up to be a young man. Did he become friends with someone? Yes. We read about his friendship, right? Yes. Who did he become friends with? Became friends with Jonathan, who was Saul's son. Was he a good friend? Yes. He was a great friend. He was a good friend. He became a very loyal friend because what did he do? After he did all of this as a young man, he did become king here too. He became king. Anybody know what age he was when he became king? He's still a young man. He was 30 years old when he became king. 30 years old. He's telling his story. Then he becomes an old man. Did he ever make a mistake?
Yes.
Yes. He made mistakes. He made some mistakes. But He was responsible. He was always, the greatness about you is not that you're perfect. What the reason that y'all loved David so much, because he saw that he still is responsible. He's gonna take responsibility when he does something wrong. He took responsibility. He was attentive when the priest had to come to him and the prophet had to come and say, you did something wrong. Y'all got something against you. He listened. He paid attention. He was loyal to his friend. He was kind. He was compassionate to his friend's son because they promised one another. He promised Jonathan, I will take care of your children. Look out for me and I'm gonna look out for you. All of these great qualities started when David was just a boy, a young child. And that's the message that I just wanted to give to you today. You're going to just read his story, hear his story, which is in the form of his song, but you have to understand that David just started out to be a boy or a young kid just like you. You don't always look at your parents like that or see them in that way, but they were once a baby. They had to learn how to walk and they stumbled and fell and had their pampers changed and diapers and spit up on the shoulders of their parents and everything. They did all of that. But Yah is looking at you still as a child to see if you have some great qualities that he could use to help the nation. Amen. So you have to know that as a child, Yah is looking at you. He's looking at you and he wants to see what good he can get from you. Do you want him to be disappointed in you? Or say that this person, this child, they ain't gonna be able to help nobody. Eliel, do you want Yah to be disappointed in you? Yeah. How do you want him to look at you and see you and feel about you? In what way? What's good? Do you want him to think of what's righteous? What's righteous? What is righteous? What is an action that is righteous? Is stealing a righteous action? So if you find something, what would a righteous action be that you could take? You could try to find that would be a righteous action. What else could be a righteous action that you could do as a boy? Because he's not looking for you to come to do anything that a grown man needs to do, but as you as a boy, what could you do for a righteous action, Maftir? Be respectful. It's a righteous action that you could take, to be respectful. How about lying? Is that a righteous action? No. Do you think Yah would have wanted David to be his king if he was a liar? You think that a liar would make a good king? Would you want? Would you even want? Do you want somebody that is in your corner, supposed to be on your side, on your team, and they are unrighteous? Why? What do you think would be the result of having an unrighteous team? Everybody, we're all on the unrighteous team. You're losers. You're gonna lose because Yah hates unrighteousness. He hates unrighteousness. So you just have to understand that, again, Yah is watching you. He's looking at you from a baby, and then he's watching to see how we grow up. He's not just looking at the grown-ups. Right. He's looking at you, seeing how you growing up. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a liar in here, you're going to be a liar over here. Mm-hmm. So he needs to know and see what kind of little boy or girl are you gonna be? And then I know what kind of young man you're gonna be, what I could do with you. Maybe I could use you for good, I could use you for evil. I could show people you don't want to, what I do to this kid, you don't want this happening to you. You don't want to be that example, but it's important that you know Yah's looking at all of us. He's even looking to see what good he can get out of a little child. And you can read, Toda.
And he said, Yahweh is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer. The power who is my rock, in him I take refuge. My shield, and my horn of salvation, my high tower, and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. Praise, I cry, is Yahweh, and I am saved from mine enemies.
You want Yah to save you, be with you, to save you from any enemies you have. Do we have enemies today? Yeah. He had a man chasing him, and they had swords and things like that, and if they had caught him, they could have tried to stone him with stones. Now, there's a different, you could have enemies today, but what are your enemies could do to you today? They could definitely bully you, talk bad about you, sneak up on you, sneak behind you, jump you, more than one, 2 or 3 people, they could kill you. They're shooting young black men in the streets. They're shooting them, the cops are even shooting them. You have enemies today. Do you need Yah's protection? Yes. You want your story to be how Yah brought you through. You need that to be your story. That's what you want to work on.
Amen. For the waves of death compassed me, the floods of Belial assailed me. The cords of Sheol surrounded me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called upon Yah. Yea, I called upon my power, and out of his temple he heard my voice, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth did shake and quake. The foundations of heaven did tremble. They were shaken because he was wroth. Smoke arose up in his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth did devour. Coals flamed forth from him.
Do you know what a metaphor is? Who knows what a metaphor is? What's a metaphor?
If you say something, that's not really what it means.
Exactly. So when it says, it's like a symbol, right? Right. To use, to get a point across. They want to tell you how angry Yah is here. So he says, smoke arose up in his nostrils. That's a metaphor to tell you this is, this is because somebody hurt his servant David. Somebody was after and trying to cause harm to his servant, and Yah got angry. This is the story you want to be able to tell. How Yah took care of your enemy when someone else, because he's going to say, Yah, I was weak. I was afraid. He was afraid. He was weak. He was running. But Yah took care of him. That's right. And that, again, this is his story. You want this to be your story.
He bowed the heavens also and came down, and thick darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, yea, he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, gathering of waters, thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness before him, coals of fire flamed forth. Yahweh thundered from heaven, and the Most High gave forth his voice, and he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning, and discomfited them. And the channels of the sea appeared. The foundations of the world were laid bare by the rebuke of Yahweh at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent from on high. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from mine enemy, most strong, from them that hated me, for they were too mighty for me. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but Jehovah was a stay unto me. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Jehovah rewarded me according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me.
Oh boy, imagine that. You get what you deserve. You ever hear that saying? You get what you deserve. What do you deserve to get? What do you want to deserve? What do you want to deserve to get? You want good things. You want y'all to say, I have nothing but good things for you. I have nothing but good things for you. Even you made a mistake, and I may show you that I didn't like what you did. I'm gonna let a little something happen so you can know I didn't like what you did. But he wants only good things for you. He wants to give you those blessings. You want to be able to say, I earned it. I earned it. And if you want to be able to think of yourself as deserving Yah's mercy, you should. Sometimes, and they mentioned it on Yom Kippur and the holy days and days coming up to Yom Kippur, someone talked about somebody saying that they may say, sometimes people think they're hurting your feelings, and they'll say, you think you're so righteous. You want to be so righteous. You want to know that you are a righteous person. That's your strength. When you can know, I know Yah's with me. This is what David is going to say, and when he tells his story, he's saying, I know Yah was with me because I was good. I was trying to be responsible. I was attentive. When he scolded me, I listened to him.
Right.
He's looking for Yah's mercy. You want to be in a position where you could say, no, Yah's going to bless me. I deserve this blessing. And I'm going to hold on to the blessing. I'm going to accept it. It's mine. I earned it. And no one can take that away from you by trying to make you feel bad to say, oh, you think you're holier than thou. That's the goal. All right? That's the goal. Be holier than other people. That's the remnant. That's what gets you in the remnant. So you don't worry and don't think about, well, I'm just a child. I'm supposed to do this devious stuff. No, Yah's watching you. He wants to see some great qualities come out of you. So as you grow into a young man, and then you grow into an older man, he could have some great things for you in store for you. So he's watching.
For I have kept the ways of Jehovah, and have not wickedly departed from my power. For all his ordinances were before me. And as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. And I was single-hearted toward him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore hath Jehovah recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness in his eyes. According to my cleanness in his eyes. With the merciful thou dost show thyself merciful. With the upright man thou dost show thyself upright. With the pure thou dost show thyself pure. And with the crooked thou dost show thyself subtle.
So, and read that last line, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can go on. The next verse.
And the afflicted people thou dost save, for thine eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest humble them.
Right. So, I think Cohen said you'll ask this question last holy day. What were some of the qualities that Yah would have seen in David? And this is right here when it's 26, it says merciful. If you're merciful and kind, Yah's going to be merciful and kind to you. This is what he's saying. If you're upright, Yah's going to be upright with you. He's going to, again, you get what you deserve. You're going to get what you deserve. It's not unfair. It's absolutely fair.
Right, just.
Yah is going to give you what you deserve. You're merciful, you're kind, you're compassionate. That's what he's going to give you in your life.
Amen.
From a child to an old man
It's true.
or woman. That's how Yah works.
No exceptions.
If you are crooked, expect some crooked stuff to come up in your life.
For thou art my lamp, O Yah, and Jehovah doth lighten my darkness.
Amen.
For by thee I run upon a troop. By my power do I scale a wall.
Right.
For as for Elohim, his way is perfect. The word of Jehovah is tried. He is a shield unto all them that take refuge in him.
Yeah.
For who is Elohim save Jehovah?
Right.
And who is a rock save our power? Elohim, who is my strong fortress, and who letteth my way go forth straight, who maketh my feet like hinds, and setteth me upon my high places, who trained my hands for war, so that mine arms do bend a bow of brass. Thou hast also given me thy shield of salvation, and thy condescension hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, and my feet have not slipped. I have pursued mine enemies and destroyed them. Neither did I turn back till they were consumed. And I have consumed them and smitten them through, that they cannot arise. Yea, they are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. Thou hast also made mine enemies turn their backs unto me. Yea, them that hate me, that I might cut them off. They looked, but there was none to save, even unto Jehovah, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust of the earth. I did stamp them as the mire of the streets, mire of the streets, and did tread them down. Thou also hast delivered me from the contentions of my people. Thou hast kept me to be the head of the nations. A people whom I have not known serve me. The sons of the stranger dwindle away before me. As soon as they hear of me, they obey me. The sons of the stranger fade away and come halting out of their closed places. Jehovah liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the power, my rock of salvation, even Elohim that executeth vengeance for me, and bringeth down peoples under me, and that bringeth me forth from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above them that rise up against me. Thou deliverest me from the violent man. Therefore I will give thanks unto thee, O Yah, among the nations, and I will sing praises unto thy name. A tower of salvation is he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore.
You are Yah's anointed also. You have to know that. And you want him to be with you so that you can have a great song to sing about how he saved you and brought you through when you were a child. You got sick. You got a fever. Some children go in the hospital. They don't come home. They actually lose their life, a child. You could get hit by a car. Somebody that I know, a boy got hit by a car, used to love to play basketball, lost his foot up to his knee because he was smashed. Y'all can change your life as a child. You have to be very careful, even as children, to try to be a great individual before Yah. Let him do great things with you as a young man or woman, and then you let your old age be a wonderful old age. So it starts now from your youth, and that's the message for you today. Sidrah, Shabbat Shalom.
Hallelujah. Thanking God for her words, for her thoughts, the information that she was able to share with us. Truly, when you consider this song and the way she put it, the thought of what a song should do for you, it would really make you think about life and the music today, and how the Creator in putting that Ruach on Dawid allowed him to create a song of just praise, giving thanks to Yah for all that the Creator has done for him and in his life. May the Creator lift us up. May he strengthen us in this path as well, and give us the Ruach, or the Spirit, to not just write songs, but do things in this earth that will bring praise or give praise to the name of the power of this universe, even our power, Yehovah. This time, come on, let us rise. Let us sing the song HaTorah to Sidrah to close the book of the law. Song HaTorah on page 6 in our Sidrah. HaTorah, Segor HaTorah ve'ilmo. Whereby shall we return unto thee, for thy word to be fulfilled by thy Lord, by thy glory. In our hearts it is to be. Segor HaTorah ve'ilmo. Oh, how can we draw closer to each other in the spirit of true righteousness, by thy Lord, by thy Lord, is the only way we must. Segor HaTorah ve'ilmo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let us sing the song Cause Israel to Stand on page 5 in our song books. Hallelujah. Here are we because of thy goodness. For our souls we commit to thy hand. Help us please, for thou promised our Father, thou would once more cause Israel to great in the enemy's land. But he sent forth the angel of courage. So he gave us the Spirit to stand. Thou would help us to stand in thy glorious name. Thou would help us to stand and erase all our sins. Send thy mercy and thy force throughout all the land. By the power of thy Son, cause Israel to stand. Thou would help us to stand in thy glorious name. Thou would help us to stand and erase all our shame. Send thy mercy and thy force throughout all the land. By the power of thy Son, cause Israel to stand. Hallelujah. Let us sing the song Baruch Hashem on page 6 in our Sidrah, our songbook standings. Blessed be the name of Yah. This is indeed an occasion to bless the name of Yah. A time to be thankful to Yah. A time to give praise to his name for what he continues to do in our lives. How he's always there. How he continues to protect you and I. How he provides for us. How he's given us a chance to even atone for our sins and our shortcomings and better ourselves before him. Let us bless the name of Yah and join our voices to sing the song Baruch Hashem. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem Shel Yahovah. Blessed be the name of Yahovah. Blessed be the name of Yahovah. Blessed be the name of Yahovah. Blessed be the name, blessed be the name of Yahovah. Who no take legend, who I am God. Who no take legend, who I am God. Who no take legend, who I am God. Who no take legend, who no take legend, who I am God. He gets on the wind and the water too. He gets on the wind Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem, Shel Yahovah. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Shel You may be seated. Giving thanks to our King, our Creator, Yah, our power. He's truly great, He's merciful, He's awesome. This time I would like to call upon the daughter of Akna'aman, B'Korah Kimla, to read for us the beautiful 8th proverb. May the Creator strengthen her in His path. May He bless her, her Abba, their family, as well as each and every one of you. May the Creator, maker of heaven and earth, lift our hearts and minds to love and praise Him like never before. Let us welcome Kimla to read for us the beautiful proverb. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom.
Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? In the top of high places by the way, where the path meets, she standeth. Besides the gates, at the entry of the city. In the coming at the doors, she cries aloud. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the Son of Man. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fool, be ye of an understanding heart. Herefore I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall utter truth, and wickedness is an abomination unto my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteousness. There is nothing preserved or crooked in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, the right to them that find knowledge. Receive my instruction and not silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things desirable are not to be compared unto her. I wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of devices. The fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do are hateful. Forward mouth do are hateful. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, power is mine. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me earnestly shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my produce than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the path of justice, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and that I may fill their treasuries. Jehovah made me as the beginning of his way, the first of his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, wherever the earth was. Where there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abundant with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the beginning of the dust of the world. Then he established the heavens, I was there. When he set up the circle upon the face of the deep, when he made firm the skies above, when the fountains of the deep showed their might, when he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not transgress his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him as a nursling, and I was daily all delight, playing before him, playing in his habitable earth. And my delights are with the sons of men. Now therefore, ye children, hearken unto me, for happy are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Happy is the man that hearkeneth to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting for the posts of my doors. Waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me findeth life, and obtaineth favor of Jehovah. But he that misseth me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death.
Hallelujah.
I want to say Todia for bringing us all here and, waking us up this morning. Todia for food, clothing, and shelter, and I hope that we all get through this day with nothing like troubling us, and I hope that everybody has a good week, or had a good week, and has for the week to come a good week, and
Hallelujah.
Giving thanks to Yah for even allowing Keenla to be here and read for us the 8th proverb. Probably one of the first times I ever heard her really talk. He never really says much. But it's okay, to be quiet. Sometimes if you don't have nothing to say, they say don't say anything. But I thank Yah for the words that she was able to share with us today, and for allowing her to be here, as well as each and every one of you, so that we're able to be alive and praise and glorify the name of Yah this day. Let us turn to Psalms 24 and even read it together as a family, to express and even proclaim who the King of Glory is. That is Yah, our power and our Creator. Let us join our voices to read Psalms 24. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The earth is Jehovah's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the mountain of Jehovah? And who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not taken Yah's name in vain, and hath not sworn deceitfully, he shall receive a blessing from Jehovah, and righteousness from the power of his salvation. Such is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, even Yaakov, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Jehovah, strong and mighty, Jehovah, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, yea, lift them up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who then is the King of glory? Yahweh of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. If you would, let us rise before the King of glory. Give thanks to him for each and every one of our lives. For this opportunity to be here with one another and praise and glorify his name. This time I would like to acknowledge the Star of the Body, the head of this community, for our own. Acknowledge each and every one of our elders here, thanking Yah for their lives. Acknowledge the Moreh and Kohanim that are here, and even each and every one of you, thanking Yah for all of your lives as well. This time let us welcome Moreh Shemuel, who will lead us in our portion of study for today, even Haazinu. Hallelujah! 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 Yochai! 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 Yochai!
Shabbat Shalom Lechem. Shivu V'Apesha. Yeladim, I think you have a class. Ani Margish Chidashti. I feel renewed.
Amen.
It's Mechudash. Toda. Mechudash. Akash time Shalosh. 3 Hebrew teachers on me. Don't leave me alone. Today I feel so renewed that I have a spirit of mischievousness in me. You know, I was just sitting there just trying to, what can I do? But, you know, it's a Shabbat, so. I just feel so happy to be alive. You know, there's an area in, I think it's off of exit 32. And it is like a hard merge. To get on the road, I think it's off of the highway or a small back road or whatever. It's a hard merge. But, you know, sometimes you misaverage the speed of the drivers. So as you merge, the driver might be coming faster than you think. And that's what happened to me yesterday. And this driver, because I seemingly cut him off, he sped up and went in front of me and cut me off, so I had to pull my brakes too. You know, I had to pull some rash brakes, whatever. And just the thing in my head was like, why would you do that? You know, people make mistakes on the road too. You know, he didn't know what I could have done to him, but but it's just the spirit of people. Why would you do that to another person? You know, yes, you can check on the day. I think something's unplugged. The HDMI converter might be unplugged. Yes. Today we're looking at the Sidrah, second to last one of Haazinu. Normally it's done as a double, but I think this year was a leap year, so it is, you know, we had to stretch it out. So Haazinu, and it comes from the word ozen, which we know we talk about ozen and aznaim, the ear and the ears, and when it becomes, this is how Hebrew is, it builds. You have one word and you stop on it, and it expresses things differently. So when we hear Haazinu, that song, even Zin Ali, we know it's talking about the ear. But when you look at the word Haazinu, it actually refers to like a causative situation. It's like you cause the ear. It's like you cock your ears a bit. You know, like when you open your ear to hear more, or like when you don't hear what your parents do to your ears, that kind of situation. That is what the word, where it comes from. And this song is one of the songs of celebration that our forefathers did after victory. Because remember, we beat up Og, and Og was a big dude. I mean, he had big dude problems. You know, Og probably couldn't look through, when someone came to the door, he couldn't see who it was. Because he couldn't look through people, his chest was all the way, he couldn't get out his chest. He was just huge, but we defeat him. So when we came to that victory, we did what? We gave praises to the Holy One of Israel, as a nation of Israel, we normally do. Now when we think about music, because I'm not today necessarily going to speak about the negative music out there, we all are familiar with it, we hear it all the time. but I'm probably going to try to share some of the positive music that is out there, was out there, or even the positive messages that are in this portion, because remember, it's a song. And when we think about music today, it's all about what? The beat. I think it was Jesus said the dumb are mostly intrigued by the drum. We hear the beat and we like, but what is the singer saying? Because as we utter words, words actually change the vibration of your environment. That's the power of a sound that you emit from your mouth. Slika, is it plugged in on that, everything? Check the extension cord too. It had given me a problem earlier. Okay, so when we think of the words that we say, like there is mumble rap, but I also say there's mumble Hebrew. I don't want it to be like a peeve of mine, but I don't like it when someone comes up and it's just like blah, 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 blah. I don't like when it's done, because you're doing justice to the language. When you pronounce the words, the sound, the power of those pronunciations, what did Moshe say when he opened the sea? You know?
You have it frozen.
Yes, but it's not reflecting up here. See? Yes, what did he say? Like one of the meditations you can do is the Shema. Say it slowly, the 6 to 9, Deuteronomy 6 to 9. Say it slowly and pronounce every single word properly. That is a whole meditation in itself. They say that the letter M is one of the powerful ones, because if you just say M, and it actually vibrates. And if you put your hand on your head, you can actually feel the vibration on your head. And it says in that way, it actually rinses, they say, the blood-brain barrier in your head. That sound, it actually does that for your brain. It actually has a lot of medicinal purposes as well as spiritual purposes. That is why in all languages, words with the letter M, some of the most spiritual words have the letter M. Shalom. You understand? In Hindi they say Om. That's how they greet each other, that okay? It's a nurturing sound. The mother actually bonds with the baby, you know, and that is why they say in the word, Hebrew word for mother even, is what? Ima. You understand? In English it's mother. So when you study stuff like that, you see the importance of the words and the sound and the power that it actually gives. Now I see the projector is fighting me today. I have some slides I wanted to show dealing with this whole understanding that I'm trying to convey to you. But if you look at the human diaphragm, okay, we know this is this area where it houses the rib cage, the lungs. Okay, this is the human diaphragm. If you look at the top of it, that is actually dealing with acoustics. When you go into any concert hall, you go into any church, synagogue, whatever it is, you see that shape because it causes that sound to rise up and spread. So when we as individuals speak, it comes from here and then it squeezes through our windpipe and it goes to our voice box, as we call it. And then if you look at I have a video of it, if the system would allow me, but it shows you like when you speak, what goes on in your throat. It's like amazing. You don't see it like, you just think it's just like, oh, we're just saying words, but it's the way your tongue moves up and down in the mouth, and it's serious. I'm saying all that to say that be careful what you say out of your mouth. There is no way that I know of that you can run and snatch it back. I didn't mean that. It's gone. That is gone up. Because like when you look at the fire, you see that smoke going up. Same way, your words go up. And they spread throughout this universe. And whatever is going to happen when it comes back, it's going to affect you as well. So today we're going to look at the words of Haazinu. Okay, Deuteronomy the 32nd chapter in the first verse. As a child, I was born in the 70s, 1976. And you know that was the golden era of music. Around that time, the 60s, the 70s. And we had like a lot of singers, and my parents at that time, of course, they have music playing in the house. And that music influenced me, okay? Then, you know, as time went on, my eldest sister, she would log on to the radio station. You know, back in the days, all about the radio. Voice of America, and there was a program that would come on, and all the music that was the latest would be playing, and that influenced my introduction to music. So even today, the kind of music that I like is the music that speaks to the soul and has certain words that speaks to the soul. So when we read this portion in Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, let us look at the words that are being said by the Most High, even through the mouth of Moshe. We begin in 32nd chapter of Deuteronomy, the first verse.
Give ear, ye heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop down as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender grass, and as the showers upon the earth.
So the Most High is saying that the heavens and the earth will hear his words. Okay? Normally, when we speak about the senses, they say how many senses do we have? 5. 6. But in higher spirituality, they're saying there's one sense. That's vibration. Because when you think about it, every sense that you mention deals with vibration. The sense of touch. You know, something had to vibrate to touch you. The sight. Something had to vibrate and touch your eye. You understand? So that touch or vibration is a saying that is one of the most important, if not the only sense. So the Most High is speaking to this creation, and he's saying that let it be as the what dew, and then he's saying let it be as the rain. Because we know that the dew, you don't even hear it fall. It is so gentle, you don't hear it fall, but they're saying that the dew is one of the purest forms of liquid in the universe. In the earth. There's a way that you actually trap dew to drink it. There's dew water you can get. It's totally distilled. You don't have to worry about it being GMO or anything. Totally distilled. So it goes on a tender herb. So the Most High is basically saying his message is for what? The tender people, the dew, those that are too small to understand his heavy message. But then for those that are old enough, that are more developed, he has what? Showers. So his message is for everyone. That is what he's saying in that portion. It says,
For I will proclaim the name of Yah, ascribe ye greatness unto our power, the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are justice.
You know, it's like, those are powerful words. It's given praise there. He said, I will proclaim the name of Yah, and he said all his works are justice. You have your breath in you. And this is what you're using the breath to do, to proclaim praises. It's good now? Yes, this is what you're using the breath to do, to give praises to the Most High. You're not using the breath for any vile or, despicable thing, but you're using the breath, the breath to do things that are righteous, to give praises to the Holy One of Israel. And when we think about a rock is we're not talking about a brick or a stone, we're talking about a rock. And there are certain parts of North Carolina that you drive around that you have natural bodies of rock in people's yards. I don't know if you ever saw them. Huge heaps of rock that they can't move, so they have to build a house around it. So when you think about the rock, the Most High, you're saying he's our rock, that we can depend on him. He's immovable.
The rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are justice. A power of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right is he. Is corruption his? No. His children's is their blemish. A generation crooked and
It
perverse.
says he's without iniquity. And many times things happen in persons' lives and they question the Most High. Simply because their understanding of who the Most High is earthly. They don't have an understanding of this being that supersedes the creation. The Most High is not a part of creation. He is the creator of the creation. That's what a lot of people, because of their religion that they were probably in or are in, they limit the Most High to those religious confines.
Right.
Whatever you think the Most High is, he is not. He said he's not you cannot search out the Most High. You know, sometimes you sit and meditate, where is the Most High, where did he begin? And then you just leave it alone. There is no iniquity in the Most High because he cannot do wrong. The Most High is perfect. And he's saying his children's is the blemish, a generation crooked and perverse. Us.
Do ye thus requite Jehovah, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath gotten thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will declare unto thee, thine elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High gave to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the children of men, he set the borders of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the portion of Jehovah is his people, Jacob, the lot of his inheritance.
So in line 8, he is actually saying that he separated the nations their inheritance according to the number of the children of Israel. So everything on this planet, they say Jacob is like, we're the form of things. Look at, he's saying that he is establishing this earth, the nations, according to the number of Israel. Everything is based on us. When you look at the whole idea of the zodiac, the whole idea of birthstones, we know it's 12, but we don't look at birthstones, we look at the tribe stone. We know it's based upon that magical number of 12, which is the nation of Israel.
He found him in a desert land, and in the waste, a howling wilderness. He compassed him about. He cared for him. He kept him as the apple of his eye.
In correct translation, it did not say apple there. I mean, I'm not a Hebrew scholar like that, but I know what apple is. And if we skip over here, the word, you will not see apple there at all. Okay? But actually, if I get it, it says here, okay, Ishon. In that word, there's the word Ish. And when you think about the correct translation is pupil, the pupil of his eye. And the pupil is actually referred to poetically as the little man. So we see Ishon coming from the word Ish. So the pupil is actually the little man. The powerful thing about the human eye, the pupil, is that if there is a lot of light, it will change how the eye is. Darkness, it opens up so that it can trap as much light as possible. There is a lot of light, it closes. So the Most High is saying, we are his pupil. Basically, he sees things through us for our benefit. So anything that's happening in this earth, for some reason, or in the future, it will line up for us. Like, as I'm working, hooking people, system up, TV, whatever, that's how I hear the news now. I don't have time in the night to go and look at that. So, as I put, you know, in white people's homes, you'd be like, oh gosh, I hope they don't be upset with what the news is saying and turn on me. But they were talking about impeachment. And they were saying that the ambassador for Ukraine, she is now spilling the beans. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, you gotta just have a straight face, not reacting because you don't know if they're pro-Trump or against. You know? But all of these things is gonna line up. How is this going to benefit the nation of Israel's redemption? You know, it may not happen overnight, but it's one of the stepping stones to that. And there was a army officer, I think he was in the Navy, and they caught him. He had a lot of weapons, whatever. But in interviewing him, he said that if Trump should be impeached, it will be very crazy in this country, according to the white nationalists, you know. they would rise up and do this, that, and the other if he is impeached. So the Most High is saying he kept us as the pupil of his eye. Think about your pupil. Do you just go messing with pushing your pupil all over the place? No, you care it, you protect it. And that's how the Most High as well, he's saying about the nation of Israel.
As an eagle that stirreth up her nest, hovering over her young,
Protection.
Spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her pinions.
And when you look at the way the eagle teaches the young to fly, now the eagle is one of the strongest birds out there. With large wingspan. In Guyana we have an eagle called the harpy eagle. Google it. That bird can lift up a little baby. The talons are like, he looks like a strong man, he just stands there just looking around. It's like, he wreaks havoc in the savannas in Guyana, just picking stuff up and flying off with them. Powerful animal. So he's saying, like an eagle that stirred up her nest, hovering over the young. So when they're learning to fly, basically, they just kick the young out. You gotta do something. And they'll be falling. No coordination. And when they see they're gonna die, they just swoop and pick them up. And they continue that process over and over again. So that is how he said the nation of Israel. Think about our lives. We go through tough times until we learn the lesson. That's how the Most High treats us. So every time a tough situation comes into your life, do not panic. I mean, I tell myself that, but I still panic. But when you catch yourself, oh yeah, you know, you pray to the Most High, because you will be tested. As the saying goes, how would you know your strength if you don't test it? You know, I'm strong. Show me. You know, there are contest men with arm wrestling, or like in Russia, there's a slapping contest. Y'all ever saw that?
Yeah. Okay.
You want to test his strength. And the thing about a slap is harder than a punch, because a punch, remember, you got these bones, and you would be afraid to break them, so you hold back. But a slap, all nice meat. So this is how they're testing your strength. But the Most High is saying, for you, nation of Israel, I throw you out the nest when you cannot fly. I come and I pick you up. And look at your life, every single situation, the Most High opens it up for you.
That's right.
Every single one. I mean, you could be going crazy. How am I going to do this, that, and the other? The Most High just says, love. People, all right. Every time. Torah 12.
Yeah.
Yahweh alone did lead him,
Only Yah did
and
this,
there
bro.
was no strange God with him.
Where was Buddha? Where was JC? Where was Selassie? Where were these new gods? Nowhere. Only Yah.
He made him ride on the high places of the earth, and he did eat the fruitage of the field. And he made him to suck honey out of the crag, and oil out of the flinty rock, curd of kine and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and he-goats with the kidney fat of wheat, and of the blood of the grape. Thou drinkest foaming wine.
When you look at the birds and the animals out there, they do not have a financial plan. Sorry, they do not have any 401k, retirement plan, nothing. They get up every day and they are fed, and they are young as well. So the Most High is saying, the nation of Israel, while we were in the wilderness, this is how we were. But we didn't have the confidence in him. So we got unsettled many times. And when we went in the land of Israel as well, in our heyday, in King David's time, and Solomon, this is how we were living. You could live in a country where the land, like when we go into the rainforest in Guyana, there's natural vegetation. No one plants it. Like the cashew nuts you like, the cashew fruit, it's a wild plant. It just grows. And there's also another one, like a cherry, a fleshy cherry. The name of it is fat pork, but it's not pork. That's what it's called, but it is like a cherry, natural. You can eat off of the land. That's what the Most High is saying. There was a time we were clearing the land and we came upon a honey's nest, and we were able to get the honey out of it. So the land, even in Israel, that is how it is. You can live off the land, the Most High is saying. But
Yeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou didst wax fat. Thou didst grow thick. Thou didst become gross. And he forsook Elohim who made him, and contempt the rock of his salvation.
What else did we do?
They roused him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations did they provoke him. They sacrificed unto demons, no gods, gods that they knew not, new gods that came up of late, which your fathers dreaded not.
Their fathers didn't have no, like Selassie was like 5 feet tall. Like this little piece of man, he's a god. So our fathers did not fear these gods that are of late.
Of the rock that begot thee, thou wast unmindful, and didst forget Elohim that bore thee.
That's right.
And Jehovah saw and spurned because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters.
One of the things that I question all the time is, how are people so obsessed with a man God? It's like, if you go to a church setting, some Israelite settings, I mean, if there's a level there on, I'm not knocking them, but it just baffles me how you can place so much emphasis in this name of this deity and not so much emphasis and zeal on the Most High. How many people in this earth know Yah's name? A minute amount compared to the other gods. It's like they know their names. But the Most High is saying, as Israel, this is how we became. We became unmindful and just forget Elohim that bore thee. And the Most High is saying, this is the punishment he's going to give us. 20.
And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faithfulness. They have roused me to jealousy with a no God. They have provoked me with their vanities, and I will rouse them to jealousy with a no people.
And no people, the Most High did not lie. These things happened in our situation. I don't know if I can get a reader for this, but this is an account of what happened to our forefathers. If I can get a reader, any reader, anybody who wants to read? Okay. Yes, you got a southern accent. Let's go.
I never had no white folks that was good to me. We all worked just like dogs and had about half enough to eat and got whooped for everything. Our days were a constant misery to us. My old master was Dave Giles, the meanest man that ever lived. He didn't have many slaves, my mammy and me and my sister, Uncle Bill and Truman. He had owned my grandma, but he gave her a bad whooping and she never did get over it and died. We all done as much work as a dozen niggas. We knowed we had to. I seen old master get mad at Truman and he buckled him down across a barrel and whooped him till he cut the blood out of him. And then he rubbed salt and pepper in the raw place.
Now these are, you can go online, there's a book actually, I think it's Voices from Slavery, like they have 100 people they interview and their accounts. And this is necessary because you got to understand in the school system, they're teaching that slavery never existed. You heard what this Carson fool, that person said? Tamshiki.
It looked like Truman would die, it hurt so bad. I know that don't sound reasonable that a white man in a Christian community would do such a thing, but you can't realize how heartless he was. People didn't know about it, and we doesn't tell, for we knowed he'd kill us if we did. You must remember, he owned us, body and soul, and there wasn't anything we could do about it. Old mistress and her 3 girls was mean to us too. Back it up a little bit, please. One time, me and my sister was spinning, and old mistress went to the well house, and she found a chicken snake and killed it. She brought it back, and she throwed it around my sister's neck. She just laughed and laughed about it.
She thought it was a big joke. Old master stayed drunk all the time. I reckon that is the reason he was so fetched mean. My, how we hated him. He finally killed himself drinking, and I remember old mistress called us in to look at him in his coffin. We all marched by him slow like, and I just happened to look up and caught my sister's eye, and we both just naturally laughed. Why shouldn't we? We was glad he was dead. It's a good thing we had our laugh, for old mistress took us out and whooped us with a broomstick. She didn't make us sorry though.
And this is the person, Annie Hawkins, formerly enslaved African who was sold from Georgia to Texas. This interview was done in Colbert, Oklahoma, where her and her family moved after emancipation. Interview was conducted in spring 1937 with a date stamp of August 16, 1937. Ms. Hawkins was 90 years old at the time of the interview, and what she relates occurred in Texas. This is from the Library of Congress. That's a lady right there. So what the Mosai said he's gonna put a no people on us, that's just a snippet of the punishment that we endured. So young people, when you acting the fool, just remember what your ancestors went through. Because they did not go through easy stuff to get you where you are. Do not take things for granted. You have an education, go and get it. Don't be acting a fool in class. Don't be disrespectful to your elders. These are things we have to understand and not take for granted where we are, the place we are as a people. It continues.
Oh. They have roused me with a no God. They have
Jealousy,
provoked
no
me
God.
with their vanities. And I will rouse them to jealousy with a no people. I will provoke them with a vile nation.
And no people in terms of the reckoning of nations. At that time, Greece and Rome, they were nowhere as a nation. They were in the Caucasus Mountains, wherever. They were uncivilized. When you look at the caveman, that's their history. So the Mosai is saying, he rose them up for the sole purpose of preparing this planet for our punishment. All of the industries, the industrial revolution, you look at the cotton industry, the sugarcane industry. When you think about sugarcane, people in England didn't like they were using beet sugar to sweeten their tea. And somebody was like, I don't like this sweetener. I need something else to sweeten my tea. Just from a person's taste buds requiring another sweetener, this is how our lives became. Just think about that. And the Most High provided labor force, who we are, the disrespectful and Torah-breaking Israelites. And here we are. So the Most High is saying, I will provoke them with a violent nation. And we were provoked. Up to today.
For fire is kindled in my nostril, and burneth unto the depths of the nether world, and devoureth the earth with her produce, and setteth ablaze the foundations of the mountains.
Don't get the Most High upset.
I will heap evils upon them. I will spin mine arrows upon them.
It's like, when I think about heaping evils, when I lived in Barbados, I used to swim in the ocean a lot. And there was one of the coasts, I think it's the coast where the tourists are, around Christchurch, listen to the name. And it was Accra Beach. But it's nice and rough there. I like to swim in rough waters because you can swim out and then the waves bring you back into the ocean. But that particular Yom Rishon, it was very rough. So every time you try to swim up, the water just keeps pushing you down back. Boom! And it just rolls you. It actually it grinds you up. So when I see I will heap evils upon you, it's like you trying to get up. Rent. You pay the rent. Light. You know, many times people think about evil as your bills are evil. They're harnessing natural occurring energy and making you pay for it. You gotta pay for oxygen.
Water.
Get a problem, go in the hospital and need some oxygen, it's expensive. You gotta pay for mine. And in some states, they make it illegal for you to capture rainwater. Do you know that? It is illegal for you to be off the grid with electricity in some states. Do you know that? The Most High said, I will heap evils upon you. And it's true. And we want to be so much part of this system. But those things are evils because if you come out of it, you live off the grid. Like, I Sometimes I pull up at a mansion. One man a mansion. When you look at the back, he's raising his own chickens. Oh, like man, raising his own chickens. They know what's up. But we as a people, we run into all these chicken places and eating ourselves to disaster itself.
The wasting of hunger and the devouring of the fiery boat and bitter destruction and the teeth of beasts will I send upon them with the venom of crawling things of the dust.
You don't have to study what that is. Most people don't like snakes. I mean, like in the rainforest in Guyana, there's a particular Amerindian girl. She survived twice from jaguar attacks. Because in the Amerindian villages, they are not like civilized in terms of having, some of them are, but mostly they prefer to live like that. So they don't have water running down from a pipe into their house. They go and do what? Draw the water, because it's flowing water is very healthy. And twice a jaguar attacked her. And if you know a jaguar, this is one of the cat family. It is not a big cat, but it is very strong. It's like a strong Muslim cat. It is made to hunt. This cat is serious. It can drag a full-grown alligator out of the water. You can go on YouTube and check the videos. It can dive. It can climb trees. Why can it do all of that? I don't know. But the thing about the jaguar, this young girl fought off this jaguar with her bare hands twice. The jaguar, why she could have done that is because the jaguar doesn't go for the neck. He comes and he crushes your skull. That's what he does. So the Most High can make these animals come out. We live in the bush. Here in North Carolina, this is bush. Were you never driving and see a fox run across the road? Or some other creature run across the road? The average person from New York would be like, ah! Just to see a deer. It's like, what is that? But the Most High is saying he can put these things on us, or he can protect us from them. It's like the snakes. It's like when I go to work, it could be in the attic, it could be in the crawl space. Snakes are there, or you can see the skin. We live in these areas, so the Most High is the one that puts them on us or takes them off. 25.
Without shall be the sword, without shall the sword be reaved, and in the chambers terror, slaying both the young man and virgin, the suckling with the man of gray hair.
No protection. The Most High causes the enemy to run in on you.
I thought I would make an end of them. I would make their memory cease from among men.
Wow, that's what the Most High thought to do about us, bud.
Were it not that I dreaded the enemy's provocation, lest their adversaries should misdeem, lest they should say, our hand is exalted, and not Jehovah hath wrought all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, and there is no understanding in them. If they were wise, they would understand this. They would discern their latter end.
The Most High is basically saying we have to be a more thinking people. Discern your latter end. Because he's saying, when he's speaking of these nations coming in and destroying us, we sleep at home. Just think about sleeping at home at night and people breaking your door down and dragging you out. You know, putting you in bondage, and you cannot do anything about it. That was our life a few hundred years ago. It was our ancestors back on the continent of Africa. The Most High is saying, if they were wise, they would understand this. They would discern your latter end. 30. How?
How should one chase 1,000?
Not your own strength.
And two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had given them over, and Jehovah had delivered them up.
Because on the slave plantation, you had one overseer and hundreds of slaves. How could that happen? It's because the Most High had given us over to them. And I mean, we are not strong like our ancestors a few hundred years ago. These men were strong. Today we have something called a gym. Their work was their gym.
Exactly.
These men were all cut up. But in their mind, they did not even think about rising up to defeat the enemy. Because the Most High had done that to them. So many times in our comfortable homes, we might be watching a slave movie, drinking a nice cool beverage, and like, if it was me? No. That was the condition we were in. Spiritually asleep. We got to be thankful that the Most High has raised us up. And our ancestors, our offspring in the future, going to say about us now why we got people doing that stuff to us. That's how it's going to be. Why we still got a man in the White House?
For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Moreh. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the venom of serpents and the cruel poison of asps.
When you think about Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, it's like there was a football player this week. He had on a bandana that says man of God.
Man of God. Yeah.
And it was trouble. But if he was saying lover of men, it would not have been like that. You understand? Just look at what is promoted today. We know this is a democratic society, that you have the right of your opinion or speech or whatever. But still, your opinion, when it comes to that, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that you stand up for the Most High, what is naturally right, because they know once they have to deal with the Most High, it is going to kill their imagination, because that's all it is. And they're upset when you don't play their game of imagination, that you could see a man standing in front of you, but he wants to be a female. The Most High is saying no. Their cluster of grapes are bitter, because there's no proper end to that lifestyle. Is not this
laid up in store with me, sealed up in my treasuries? Vengeance is mine, and recompense against the time when their foot shall slip. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that are to come upon them shall make haste. For Jehovah will judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their stay is gone, and there is none remaining shut up or left at large.
That word that is used there, repent, is not the correct word. The word has come from the word chesed, that is in the Hebrew, so it's basically saying the Most High is going to be merciful. Okay? So he's not, like, you probably know the Most High doesn't repent. There's just an incorrect translation.
And it is said, where are their gods, the rock in whom they trusted, who did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let him rise up and help you. Let him be your protection.
Moses is saying, where are all these gods you serve? You know, and it's many times when, you know, I install the service and the first channel that pops up is a Christian channel with Joel Osteen and these people. And I mean, the message that they bring is so weak, but how people latch onto it so strong. It just, I know it's a spiritual state the Most High has us in, and it's a sad situation. So the Most High is asking, where are these people to help you? Where are these gods to help you? That where were they in slavery? Where are they now? Where are they? We know it's only Yah. We thank Yah that He has allowed us to understand who He is.
See now that even I am He, and there's no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I have wounded and I heal, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand.
This is not the Christian God.
Oh no.
This is Yah. You know what I mean? I don't want to say this bad man thing, but when the Most High says these things, it's like, you can see, I don't know how people square up to get it on here. I've seen a few and it's not too impressive. But in the Caribbean, when people square off, they say the meanest things. It's like saying that I wound, I kill, I tear you up. Like in Jamaica, like it was just football. And the man was talking about he can bond the next one's skin, and it's like me thinking to say to each other. You know? So this is what the Most High is saying, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. So you gotta be like, okay, I can't really contend with this. You know, I can't do nothing about this. The Most High is bragging. And this is the biggest brag he can say in 40. For
I lift up my hand to heaven and say, as I live forever.
No one else can say that. No one else.
Amen.
He's swearing that he's going to do this thing according to his everlasting nature and ability. That is serious. If
I wet my glittering sword, and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine adversaries, and will recompense them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, with the blood of the slain and the captives, from the long-haired heads of the enemy.
the Most High is not playing, and long-haired heads, you got to think the hair text she's speaking of, but I don't want to go there. But he's speaking about destroying the enemies, the people that have overdone the job that he assigned to them on the nation of Israel. It would be very hard for them. When you think about, I don't celebrate when it comes to the death of the enemy, as the Most High said in the scriptures. But when you think of what is happening in the white community, the opioid crisis, it's tearing them up. And instead of them dealing with it like the way they dealt with us when it was a crack epidemic, people were being locked up, incarcerated. Instead of being given the help, that's what's happening to us now today. I saw there was even a consideration to at traffic stops, not traffic stops, like at gas stations, like if you're driving cross country, they were trying to thinking about setting up rooms that if a person wants to shoot up, he can do so in an area that is ensured that he does not overdose. You think about that. When we were on crack, they ever considered that? So the Most High is actually saying here, he's going to heap these things that they did to us back on them. And look at the way they're dealing with it. You see, these nations have the opportunity to repent, but they don't. They don't want you to mention it. You see, forget about it. Forget about slavery. Forget about the sharecropping days when your bill at the supermarket could have never balanced out.
That's right.
They want you to just forget about those days. Let's just be friends now. The Most High is saying, I'm going to get them. Sing aloud, O ye nations.
Sing aloud, O ye nations of his people, for he doth avenge the blood of his servants, and doth render vengeance to his adversaries, and doth make expiation for the land of his people. And Moses came and spoke all the words of the song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea the son of Nun. And when Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel, he said unto them, set your heart unto all the words wherewith I testify against you this day, that ye may charge your children therewith to observe to do all the words of this law. For it is no vain thing for you, because it is your life. And through this thing ye shall prolong your days upon the land whither ye go over the Jordan to possess it.
When we think about music, we know that music is one of the best ways to teach anything to people. I know there are songs that up to today you remember from in the kindergarten days. That's how they taught you the alphabet, that's how they taught you to count. And the sad thing is that today there are songs that you wish you would forget, but they're in your memory because they pounded it into there. Okay, when a man is, or a person, like I'm going to show you a video of the benefits of teaching, if the internet allows us to. Teaching in a classroom, turn on Vapasha, Mishere. Teaching in a classroom, like what you get out of a message, like using a song. I'm going to attempt to do this. Internet here is not too good. It's not working. There's There's an internet search provider called Spectrum that will work properly. It's not. All right. Yes, but in a classroom setting, when you teach Yeladim through song, this stuff they don't forget. Ever. Who would ever forget the ABCs? No one. A person could get into an accident and probably hit their heads or whatever and lose memory of certain things. But for that, they won't lose their memory. Let me see if I can get it over here. It's not working. That's not correct. I hear well. Okay, so basically he was saying that when you listen to the correct type of songs in the classroom, it teaches you certain lessons. And the thing about it is that I'm convinced. Okay, let's listen to him. Turn up the volume, sure. So?
Well, when we sing and interact with songs in our classes, our young learners are getting vocabulary, pronunciation, intonation, the rhythm of the language, the grammar, listening skills, and they're getting all of these things without them ever really realizing that they're learning. But apart from just songs being great language tools, they're really great for managing your classroom. So songs are great for signaling transitions from one activity to another activity. Songs are great for creating a really positive, welcoming atmosphere in your classroom. Songs are great because they're sticky and they stay with our students long after they leave the classroom. So there are a lot of benefits of using songs in the classroom. And it just happens to be that they're also super fun for kids to sing.
And the part where he says that it helps you with grammar, pronunciation, etc. If you study the Hebrew language, you would realize that as a people, we were living in Egypt. So the Egyptian language would definitely influence what we were learning. So when the Mosai came and he spoke to Moshe, that was an opportunity for the language to be cleaned up. You understand what I'm saying? So like in a song like this, we can go back to it and we can learn Hebrew grammar, we can learn certain metaphors, the way the Mosai is saying, speaking, you see? So music as well is a very powerful tool in that regard. That is why as young men, when you just plug in your devices, you just don't think that it's just regular old music, but you have to understand that it's you're exposing yourself to something serious. You're listening to a different vibration that can cause you as a being, because you're programmable, it can cause you as a being to be influenced to do certain things. Music can make you feel down. It can make you feel up, like, you know how a love song makes you feel? Or how a party song makes you feel. You understand? It gives you that different vibration. You're not gonna necessarily run to a love song, like if you're jogging, it's not love music you'll be listening to. Listening to something upbeat, so that it can give you that energy. If you listen to like like before the game time, you'd see the sportsmen in the locker room listening. You're not listening to Mozart. I mean, Mozart is good music, but they're not listening to Mozart. They're listening to something that is, you know, I don't want to say that.
We are.
Okay? All right, let's look at the mood here. It says here that what's happening in your body when you listen to music. In your memory, you form and recall memories due to the release of dopamine. Your mood is boosted due to the release of the feel-good neurochemical dopamine. Your work performance is boosted, it changes your blood pressure, it causes your skin to get tingly feelings. All of these things are the benefits of listening to music. So I'm trying to, to influence the young men especially, and young women. The music today is not progressive. It doesn't teach you anything. It's indecisive. They say stuff like, hold up, wait, stop. You're not even telling you to go. You're not even progressive. How many here? Hold up. Like, am I not supposed to go somewhere? Am I just gonna be stuck in this spot? Just think about the music that you're listening to. And this is the Mosai's music. I want you to listen to the Mosai's music. If it can come up. Yes, it's gonna come up. Listen to those birds and the wind. This is an aerial view of a forest, of course. To the average person, that would drive them nuts. What are we gonna do? We're not doing anything. Just relax and listen. Meditation. Think about the words that were said in the song that we just read, Haazinu. It was a powerful message. Listen to the words of the songs that are being fed into your headphones. Do not expose yourself to that negativity. It's seeping into your being. Be very careful. We have people with homosexual agenda singing songs that's influencing the youth. You gotta be very careful. This is the Mosai's music. The birds are not crying, they're singing. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It concludes by saying,
And Jehovah spoke unto Moses that self-same day, saying, Get thee up into the mountain of Abarim, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aharon thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people, because ye trespassed against me in the midst of the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. For thou shalt see the land afar off, but thou shalt not go thither into the land which I give the children of Israel.
and Moshe was such a powerful man in that he knew he was going to die, but he knew what was greater than him was his duty that was assigned to the nation of Israel. So he did not quit when he found he was not going up to the land of Israel. He carried out what his duty was. And Yehoshua ben Nun, he took over. And if you read other nations' accounts of Yehoshua, to them he was very dreadful. He did not mix matters. Matter of fact, there was a great exodus. Like today you have Syria torn by war, and there's a lot of refugees. There were a lot of Canaanite refugees because of Yehoshua and the nation of Israel. Go and read all the books and it would show you that. He was very dreadful in the sight of those nations because of what he did, carrying out this punishment or this commandment that the Most High given unto him. I thank Yah for the ability to praise his name, for being in the midst of the holy season. I pray that Yah will truly fill us up with the desire to want to do this holy season, his law, to the highest level that we can do it. Many times people would say, oh, look how the nation celebrate this, that, and the other. We don't have to be crazy. But we can do it to a level that shows Yah that we truly appreciate what he has given unto us via commandments. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'd like to say the words of the blessing. Remember, I have not the power to bless, but you also have the power alone. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yevareka Yehovah wa Yishmoreka.
Keini rason.
Ya Yehovah panayo eleka wikuneka.
Keini rason.
Isa Yehovah panayo eleka. We assembleka. Shalom.
Keini rason.
Jehovah will bless thee and will keep thee. Jehovah will cause his face to shine upon thee and will be gracious unto thee. Jehovah will lift up his countenance upon thee and will give you peace. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yochai.
Yochai.
Sila. We'll now have a break. Remember to keep your thoughts and actions until the Shabbat day. We'll resume services at 5 p.m. Hallelujah. This afternoon we'll have our brother Moreh. Hallelujah.
I have a few of these.